Hey fam, today we are going to dive into some information that has come through. Now I am going to be racking my brain because I channeled this probably like 2 weeks ago. There's a full channeled video on my Patreon if you'd like to check it out. My friend Kayla and I have been working with these oceanic pods. She's been working with them for the past year or so. I have been working the past few months or so. However, the more we dive into the history of these pods together and go down there and talk to the beings that are helping to bring this ancient technology back online, we're starting to discover more and more information about the pods. And so I wanted to make a quick overview video of what we received because it has to do with Atlantis, and that's really cool. So basically, she's been told, so we were asking questions based off of information that she has kind of already uncovered. And that information that she's uncovered is there's a Sirian connection to these oceanic healing pods. And if you want to know what the oceanic healing pods are, I already have videos on this. You can go to my YouTube or my Patreon to check those out. They're essentially these healing pods that help combine land and ocean healing technologies and use unity consciousness to help heal the physical, spiritual, energetic, mental body. Really, these healing pods have an array of healing abilities, and they use Arcturian technologies, they use Lyran communication, and a bunch of others. I've done channeled messages on that, so go check that out. But in this session that we did together, we were asking, okay, how does this connect to Sirian energies? Because she has had that come through a lot. Also, the timeline. We have been feeling like this is a different timeline of Earth, but where does that exist? What is the information behind that? So that came through. And then it really gave us an understanding about how the Earth splits, why, and then what comes of those splits. So first, we kind of realized that there are two versions of the oceanic healing pods. There's one here in this reality, and it's anchoring further into this reality. It's coming back online in this reality. But then there is a mirrored copy of the same exact healing pods on another planet. And when we were talking to the guides, I received that this other planet is Sirius. And Kayla mentioned Sirius B, and that resonated. So we have healing pods here, and we have healing pods on Sirius B that are mirrored. Then I started to receive information that the whole planet, it's not just the healing pods, the whole planet is a mirror of Earth, and that the two were once one planet. And through timeline shifts, they split into two, and now Sirius is what it is today, and Earth is what it is today. And on Sirius, Atlantis never fell. So Sirius B today is the timeline in which Atlantis kept going and thriving and becoming. Earth as we know it here in this reality, planet Earth, is the fall of Atlantis. It's the planet where Atlantis did indeed fall, and now we're here after all those years. And so that was really fascinating information. And we actually went to Sirius B. So my channeling, when it comes to this, and same with her, I know personally for me, it's remote viewing. It's astral traveling and it's conscious channeling. So I'm telepathically receiving information from these beings that are guiding us, helping us to understand. And then remote viewing, we actually like went there to see it, and that was using astral traveling as well. And so when we went to Sirius B and went into the ocean to see this mirrored copy of the healing pods, fascinating. It was like a whole different vibration than what our ocean is, and that whole planet is now an ocean. And there was something about Lemuria too that we were discussing, and how like Lemurian consciousness is kind of like a frequency. It's not necessarily a civilization, if you will. So Lemuria is more so a consciousness, and Atlantis is more so the time period or the location, or the, like, they're kind of like one and the same. Let me check in real quick and make sure that's correct. So yeah, so the Atlantis times had Lemurian consciousness, and Atlantis, the actual location, is no longer really, like, yes, it's present on our Earth, but it hasn't been fully destructed or decomposed on Sirius B. On Earth, there's very little that remains of Atlantis, which is why I think it gets associated with like a consciousness. And so the healing pods are something that remains. And through the existence of the healing pods on Earth, and through the existence of the same healing pods, because it's just a timeline shift, on Sirius B, through these twin fragments, you get like a portal and access between the two. So they're still connected, which is why Sirian energy has come through the Earth healing pods. So when we were over on Sirius B and looking at all of this and feeling the frequency, they were basically showing me that it's like an old telephone, if you've ever seen an old like telephone board where like there's a bunch of cables and you're like rewiring calls and redoing stuff. So that's basically like on Sirius B, the beings that we're talking to, they can interdimensionally move from Sirius B to Earth, the healing pods. They can just be wherever they need to be. And they took us through that portal, which is how we got through to Sirius B. And they were showing the energy cables, the energy jump starts that they have been trying to use to activate the healing pods on Earth. And the healing pods on Earth have been slowly coming online, but they have needed actual people on Earth to be activating it and working with it, healing it, which is where Kayla, I, and the people that we've taken down there, that's where our mission kind of comes in. And you too, like if you feel called to work with them, come join the club. We need all the work we can get to have them come back online. And so they are coming back online slowly but surely. And it was interesting as they were like showing us the healing pods, they were also sharing that Earth has split multiple times. So I think I'm sure if you're watching this content, you've heard somewhere that we're moving from 3D to 5D. The Earth is splitting into two. There will be a high vibrational Earth, a low vibrational Earth, and then the timelines will stretch so far that they fully separate and are two different things. That has happened to Earth multiple times, and they showed me like it was an interesting image, north, east, west, and south. 4 planets around Earth that once were Earth, and Sirius B is one of those, which is why it's so familiar, why it's so similar, and also why Syrians are doing a lot of work on their planet to help out Earth planet. And that, too, they are able to work with these different structures that are still present on their planet and that create that twin mirror on our planet. And they were basically saying, since this structure is so far under the ocean and vibrating at a very specific frequency, it's been untouched. And humans, I mean, most humans don't know that it exists unless, you know, you're channeling and you're taken down there. But a lot of oceanic healing devices and healing technologies are coming online again. And that is because Sirius B is really helping to facilitate this and to help in the healing of our planet, and can do that again through these portals that are created by having twin mirrored structures. And so they actually brought through that Stonehenge is another one of these structures, and that it is a very similar operating portal somewhere else. And so there's a lot of these structures on the Earth that I guess are operating and are present on other planets, and that's how they can act as portals between either levels of consciousness, but also like physical time and space. Mount Shasta keeps coming to mind. So this must be a portal on another planet that is also acting as that twin fragment. And through that twin fragment, it can then be a portal from there to here. Which is really fascinating that even exists. So this too speaks to how interdimensional travel kind of works. It's not always needed, however, it exists and can be utilized in this way. These certain geographical and also man-built structures. Are the pyramids this too? I gotta know. No. Is there anything else that is like this? So they said certain parts of the continents and specific ley lines that haven't shifted drastically through each planet's evolution. So for example, like on Sirius B, there might be a ley line that is still in the same spot that it once was when Earth and Sirius were one planet. And now that they're two, that specific ley line creates a portal. Okay, I'm trying to remember what else we brought through. And also, Spirit, is there anything else? So they're saying the Earth is like already split, and that after fresh splits, we can still see a lot of mirrored experiences, because like while it's split, they're still like hovering within one another. So like the energetic split has finalized, but because they are still so close, they are hovering over one another, and as the timelines of the split continue to unfold, that's what then like moves them apart so much so that then it's a totally different experience or a totally different planet at that point once they get so far away. So they're still hovering right now, which is why people are saying like some people have moved into 5D, some people are still in the 3D, some people are in between both, some people are still like, we are on a specific timeline. Other people might be on a different timeline, but since they're still like hovering over one another, we can still see here physically like what we can still see like other timelines going on. But as they continue to further apart, it will eventually become 2. And then when it becomes 2, there will be like an actual separation that occurs. So like they're basically saying right now that like all of the planets end up moving. Like no planet stays in one place in the universe. Like we are constantly moving, which is, I think, well-known. That's a well-known fact, right? Like our galaxy is just kind of floating through space right now, I guess. And so, yeah, the actual planets will continue like separating, and that's how like Sirius B ended up over yonder in our solar system and is no longer here. It's because the physicality and physical nature like took it apart. And they're saying, that's interesting. So Earth used to be actually like where Sirius is now, and due to like certain contracts, the timelines shifted it into like this galaxy, like this alignment with these other planets. So because of the timeline vibration and frequency, it resonated more so with this sun and this, I think it's called a galaxy, guys. I don't, verbiage. Like this line of planets that we have, where Sirius B ended up kind of where it is due to its planetary vibration. So that's why physically we can now look at it as like a separate thing. But in all actuality, the two planets are still somewhat freshly split, and that's why there are still these mirrors that are occurring between the planets. So there's a lot of energy moving through, and this is how too the Galactic Federation of Light is able to help humanity. It's not just by sending star seeds, it's not just by us channeling them. It's quite literally calling upon Earth's mirror planets to help raise the vibration through sending energy in the portals that are mirrors to Earth. So again, Stonehenge, Mount Shasta, these healing pods, and there's a lot more that I'll channel someday maybe. Okay. Anything else that we should mention? And they're mentioning, real quick too, we kind of asked them about roles, like what are our roles here? And Kayla, sorry, when I channel I yawn. Kayla, her energy acts as a conductor because she was part of the scientific build of these pods, and more connected to the science background. So she is a conductor, and she's able to like basically receive the energy from, there's a stone down there, a certain mountain peak that the pods are connected to. It's a ley line, and this also exists on Sirius. And being close to it, the vibration is crazy. It's so high vibrational. And so we are activating that same structure, that same mountain peak stone on Earth, and the pods kind of channel that, and Kayla can also channel that and then conduct it and send and focus that energy into certain areas. And then for me, I kind of like take that energy and then like put it in the pods and create like different, whether it's experiences or like different information. I had a Lyran being come through. If you wanted to see that channel message, it's on my YouTube. And that Lyran being was basically saying how the Lyran connection is the communication connection. And so that makes sense too, because I'm helping to like communicate what's happening down there while also basically taking the energy that Kayla's channeling and like directing it into like the individual experience, I guess, like a facilitator. And then everyone else, a lot of different energy types have been attracted to this experience. Oh my gosh. Have been attracted to this experience. And we have like architects, and there's other people that like are holding the energy vibration. And so if you are feeling called to assist, it's probably because you maybe have a background with this, or you're meant to help it come online. So you can join either my or Kayla's Patreon to and stay tuned for our live calls. We're going to start doing more public live calls eventually, but right now we're just keeping it to a small group as we get used to everything. But yeah, deep galactic healing can happen through these, because not only are you receiving earth healing, but you are also receiving ocean healing and Atlantis technology healing mixed with like galactic being healing, because a lot of different galactic star races have helped to build these. And I think in Atlantis, these different star races were living more at harmony with one another and had a bit more human hybrids going on. So let me know if you want to see more information about this, and stay tuned for more events and also more videos on the topic.